Hello out there, and I've got a little bit more of a wide angle today for today's EDC Plus pocket dump video. And I'm calling it EDC Plus because in addition to the stuff that's actually in my pockets today, I am going to be talking about some of the variations in my carry. You know, some of the things that I carry situationally depending on whether I'm at work or at home or just out and about. So it should be interesting to share all that and talk about the differences. Also, you know, I am going to be talking about a few new things that I recently got, and then in addition to that, just some of the old mainstays that are always going to be in my pocket and in my carry. So it should be a fun little time. But to be honest with you guys, today I was not planning on doing an EDC video. I had one in the works. I've been wanting to do one for a while, but today's video was supposed to be about the Brous Blades Icon. But unfortunately, if you take a look at this side of the knife, you can see there's something missing right here that sort of is keeping me from doing the full review, and it is a body screw. I was disassembling the knife to do some maintenance and to try to get the action a little bit better, and also to film the internals for the review, and when I put it back together, I was down a screw. And so, yeah, that basically means that I'm an idiot and I lost a body screw. So that review is going to be put on hold. And I could have talked about this just when the review eventually comes out, but I wanted to bring it up now because I contacted Brous Blades about getting a replacement part kit, and they replied to my email within 10 minutes. Not an automated reply like, hey, we got your request. We'll be in touch. Like, an actual person responded to my email in 10 minutes and said, we've got you, we've got it on the way, I'll send you the tracking info when it ships. I mean, just awesome. Awesome service. This knife is still not a home run. It might be a little bit better in some ways than I anticipated it was, but still not a home run, but the service definitely is. The service is consistently on point from them. I just wanted to share that with you today before we get started. But now, let's get into it. Let's get into the pocket dump. And yeah, we'll start with the watch. So the watch that I EDC most often is this guy right here. It's a little Invicta. A pretty inexpensive Invicta, I think, too. I think I got it on sale on Amazon for like 50 bucks. They sell probably for a little bit more than that, but this is, I think, from the Pro Diver series, and what I like about this is just the versatility. It's a good looking watch, so, you know, it's good for like casual wear. It's in a pinch, I think, good for any occasion. You know, if you have a gents kind of situation, I think that you get away with wearing this. It's also, you know, very water resistant, so it's good for outdoors. Just a good overall watch. It's the one that I travel with. Anytime I travel, I bring this watch because, like I said, it's the only watch I really need. So, good little piece at a good price, and definitely a brand name that I trust. Continuing on, the wallet is the Star Wars wallet, the one that my wife got me for Christmas. This is by Nixon. They also make very good watches, but they do have the Star Wars line that is extended to include other things. One thing about this is you can see this green. I've talked about it before. I've come to terms with it. I actually sort of like the flare, but the thing about it, though, is when you see it on Amazon or wherever you buy it for sale, this is how it's pictured. So you don't really know necessarily that trim is there. So definitely something that they should tell you, something to be aware of. But yeah, it's a cool wallet, serves its purpose, gives me a little bit of Star Wars flair in my carry, so that is a good thing. A little more Star Wars stuff. I've got a Hank here from Blue Label Hanks, and I'll link to him down below. And guys, I'll try to link to all the makers, not necessarily like the big brand names, but some of the smaller things like Instagram pages and stuff. I'll link to all that stuff down below. Blue Label Hanks made this Star Wars Hank. He has some awesome stuff on Instagram, though, and it's hard to come by because he posts one Hank at a time, and it sells, all of them sell within like 1 or 2 minutes. So you really have to try to hunt down some of his stuff. I think I have a few of his pieces, and this one especially I've been trying to get for a while, and I finally did. So just very cool. I mean, the quality of the stitching, let's take a look at that. I mean, that's just cool. Is this going to be a significantly more functional Hank than any of the basic stuff that you can, you know, get at Walmart? No, probably not, but again, just adds a little bit of flair, and yeah, if I can put something Star Wars in the pocket, I generally tend to do that. All right, next, let's talk about pens. All right, the pen that I carry on a regular basis on my days off from work is the Polka pen. We talked about that in the last EDC video. I have a few different variations, and the guys at Polka Pens have been really great. One thing that they do is every time you buy from them, they give you a referral code. And so if you refer anyone, they get $10 off their next order of $20, and you get $10 off your next order of $20. So I don't work for these guys. They don't, they don't know me, but I just used my referral code the last time I did a pocket dump video, and a bunch of you jumped on it and used it, and you guys got good deals, and that helped me get more good deals. And to the people at Polka Pens, to their credit, they noticed that. I mean, they noticed that I had a bunch of referrals, and they just sent me a case of like 24 pens, and those are the pens that if you saw in like my previous giveaways, those are the ones I was giving out. They sent me a little note that said, thanks for spreading the word, send some more stuff out, and I was happy to do that. They're cool guys. So again, not really getting anything free from them, but they're good guys doing good stuff with a good product, so happy to spread the word about them. So definitely check them out if you need good EDC pens. Now, all that said, I carry these pens on my days off from work, but I don't bring them to work because of just how easy it is to lose pens where I work. I mean, the place where I work actually provides pens just for that reason, so these really just stay home and I carry them on my day off and just always have them on me or in a pack or something like that, like backpack, in the car, wherever. So good stuff overall though. All right, and now moving on to, let's talk about the keys. The keys haven't changed, and I don't know that they ever will. I really like my key setup the way that it is. Everything that I carry, it just has a purpose and it works. And nothing is all that pretty, but it's functional. And so, yeah, I don't have any reason to mess with that whatsoever. The mainstay here is the Leatherman Micra. Probably the best tool that I own in that it just comes in handy so often. It's beat up, but it still goes like really, really well. And yeah, this is dirty. Probably time for some routine maintenance. I need to figure out a way to, I guess I need to sharpen the scissors a little bit, but they still work too. But for the most part, the thing that I use the most in here is the Phillips head little screwdriver. I mean, that thing just comes in handy. And yeah, it's a great thing to have on you. Doesn't really weigh too much, and yeah, this thing will last you forever. The other stuff on the keys, the SOG key knife here, this has been another great tool. This is the thing that you have on you for me at least, for two situations. One is if you're a knife guy and people know you're a knife guy, they're going to ask you to borrow a knife. Now, there is no way that I'm giving anyone my Benchmade or my Kershaw, not even to cut one thing with if I'm standing next to them. It's not happening. Don't use my knife. Don't do it. So this is the knife that I will give someone if they need one. You know, take it right off the keyring. It locks up perfectly. It's sharp. It's actually a good little tool. You know, very good little tool. And yeah, if it happens to get lost because I loan it out, it's $10 or less. So you can pick another one up and really not be burned too badly for it. The other thing about it, though, is that it is also very subtle and discreet. So in some situations, if I just have something very minor to cut, depending on what my main carry is, you know, you don't want anyone to be like spooked in public or something. You can pull this out and cut something and not really turn too many heads. So yeah, if you are worried about appeasing the masses, this is a good little knife for that. Last but not least on the keys is this Griffin Moldy tool. This is the one in brass that I picked up at Blade Show. I was concerned that the finish on it would wear and that this laser, like Star Wars etching, would sort of just go away in time. But it's taken a little bit of like a stone wash really nicely. Working out very well. I replaced the titanium one with this. I've noticed no difference in kind of performance. I mean, this is a great tool. The titanium one is cool and all, but there's no, at least for me, no functional difference that I've noticed between the two, you know, and this is mostly use this for like the scraper and the bottle opener, but it has, you know, a number of different, you know, functional tools. And this little clip here hangs it in the pocket so that your keys aren't just jumbled at the bottom. So highly recommend a Griffin tool. Definitely check those guys out. All right, so now flashlight and then knives. So flashlights, I have one light that I usually carry to work. When I'm working nights, and I usually work nights, I'm still rocking this Thorfire. The Thorfire has been great. It was a great recommendation. I believe it was from Priority Survival a long time ago now, but this this light running on AAA's has held up. So it does the job, it does everything I need it to, and it's thin. You know, my a light that I like more that I carry on days off is this guy right here, the Lumentop. It is a mass drop light that I got. Comes in a number of different variations, different colors, has brass, has copper. You can usually find one on their website. And this one runs on either AA's or these batteries right here. This is rechargeable. It's like a rechargeable setup that I got. So that works out nicely. But the problem with it, for me, at least bringing it to work, is it's a little more chunky. And I like to carry my light in one of my back pockets. And so carrying the Thorfire here, it's a little more thin, streamlined. So that works out better. You can see just the thickness for having it in a back pocket. But this is in my pocket on most of my days off. And then the last light that I regularly use, this one, this will be in my pocket at work if it's, you know, just a not a night shift, because this isn't it's a bright light, but it's not as bright as the Thorfire. And yeah, so I'll have this either on days off or if I'm working during the day. Probably won't need a light as bright as at night. So those are the three. They all come in very, very much in handy. And yeah, they're all just pretty darn good lights in my estimation. All right, so now let's get to the knives. So the backup knife first. The backup knife for a long time has been this Benchmade Proper. You know, carry it in its sleeve here. Talked about that in my last EDC video. And this is not, you know, getting phased out, not by any stretch of the imagination. And check the links down below. It's Gromit's Cutlery, I believe, is the name of the people who make the sleeve. And this sleeve has been awesome. Fits perfectly. So you can check them out. This hasn't been replaced, but I am subbing it in and out a little bit more often now while I try some other stuff out. And in my last video, I talked about how I was going to be doing that with this Vitoku 2 Manbug, which has this little Star Wars lanyard attached. So the Manbug here is awesome. It's a cool little knife, but I don't know if it's for me. And so that's what I'm trying to figure out. I mean, the ergos on it are great, but I just want to see if it is going to be a good backup knife and how well it's going to perform. And I got this very cool lanyard to put on it from Get Your Naughty on Instagram. And what it is, it's a little Lego guy that's made into a lanyard, and they have a bunch of different characters. This is a Star Wars Scout Trooper, but you can pick a number of things. And this was actually purchased for me from a buddy of mine on here on Instagram named Chris Sproles. And yeah, and here's the note they wrote. As ordered by Chris Sproles, I'm sending you a paracord, buddy. I know Mr. Lego Scout Trooper will have a new good home. And you may also use GYNO or Gyno15. Well, Gyno15, Get Your Naughty on 15 at checkout for 15% off on their Etsy shop. Link to that down below, guys. It won't be easy to forget. At least there's that. So good little discount for this thing. And yeah, it's just neat. For me, I had the option, I guess, of getting like a longer lanyard to tie it directly onto a knife, but I just didn't think that that was the best way to do it. So I got this little clip, and so I have it clipped to the knife here. And if I need to, you know, I can unhook it and clip it directly to the light, or clip it directly to a pack. You know, just have it wherever I want it to be. So it will, for me, seeing that the knife is so small, make it easier to hold on to. It does actually make it more ergonomic if you wanted to cut with it. But I mean, I think more so just, being able to have it and not lose it is the big bonus here. So anyway, all early indications with this knife is that it's going to work out just fine, but I will definitely follow up when I do the video for this. And then, yeah, last but not least, the knife that I'm carrying today, the main knife, is one of the best of 2018 so far for me, the Kershaw Method. I have already reviewed this, but this is the knife that, I'm carrying today. Again, like I said in my previous videos, the knives that I'm really looking at a lot, this rake right here, which is coming for review very soon. Also still working on this Kershaw Fault Line, and yeah, just a couple others. So that's really it. That is all of the EDC stuff that I'm currently carrying. So any questions, comments, complaints, suggestions, let me know down below, guys. Anything that you carry in any different ways, any advice you have, I'm always willing to hear it. So yeah, start the conversation. I'd be happy to hear from you. All right, but thanks for watching. Take care and have a good one.